A big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. I'm coming to you straight from the Goafest 2023, and with me are the best madmen in advertising who've landed up at the Goafest. And I'm pretty sure that this conversation is going to be one of the best conversations we've seen and heard at Goafest. So fasten your seatbelts and tune in as the madmen do a reality check of this industry. And without further ado, I'm going to open this conversation. I will start with you, Bobby, as the most mature of the lot and the most experienced, right?
Mature, disagree, experienced.
True that.
But, lots has been discussed over the last couple of years and at Goafest in terms of the future of creativity, where, how well we are poised to take on the world and, client briefs, AI, this, that, and the other. But in a nutshell, if I had to ask you in terms of, as, a representation of the creative fraternity, where are we today in terms of actually, the creative work actually making a difference and being, recognized as a service that is required to move sales?
So I think there is strides being made, right? We're doing very different kinds of work, right? Previously, it was just purely what we defined as traditional, but now there's the new traditional. The other part is something that I'm wary of, is that I think a lot of like the traditional things of craft and all that, right? Attention to detail, somewhere we are losing that. The youngsters who speak the language of emojis and all that can't write. So I think, both, there needs to be a balance of both. I'm a bit wary of, creatives who say, oh, I'm an ideas guy. Yeah, ideas not jamadar se bhi aa sakta hai, yaar. But true creative can craft that idea. Right? The ability, see, what does craft teach you? The ability to persevere at it, to pay attention to details, and that's what elevates a great idea to a legendary idea. Right?
Sure. I'll take it to you, Raj. I want to first congratulate you on being the Creative Agency of the Year at the Abbeys. So outstanding work. I think you are by far, leading the creative pack. But coming back to the conversation that we're having, right? Today, in terms of the creative challenges that you as people are facing, what's the big change and what are you grappling with as we move forward, as technology, grasps us and takes us even more into this space?
I think, Sonali, I don't think there is any challenge.
Oh, wow. Are you saying that because you won Creative Agency of the Year?
No, it's not that. I think the reason is there is no challenge. Why I'm saying, because we have been trying. The industry, like how Bobby said, I like it. This is the new reality. This is the new, this is the old world, but in the new era. That's it, right? So if someone is coming new or someone is not been playing for the last 5 years, it's new to them. Right? If you have been playing for the last 20 years every single day, and mostly for the last 4 years, the way we've been trying to evolve ourselves and trying to make things happen, it's every day for us. So I remember yesterday someone asking me about, oh, are you scared there is AI coming out? I said, that's good that AI has come out. It says AI can do what a lot of people can do. I said, exactly. It'll help us to make things better. It was like having 10 more copywriters or 10 more writers or editors or designers in one room for you on a fingertip, right? So I'm not looking at this as the problem, but I think this is an amazing opportunity that we have for us.
No, to build on what you're saying, right? I think fear is good. Disruption is good because it stops you from being complacent. Yeah. It gets you out of your comfort zone. It gets you to try new things, right? So in that sense, there are challenges on a regular, traditional TVC brief as well. Because you start with a goddamn blank slate of paper, right? And so that's the thing. But especially when there are certain existential technologies like AI is like nuclear energy back in the day. It'll have that kind of impact.
Yeah.
And some of it, let's not kid ourselves, is going to be destructive. It is going to reshape governments and society. Creativity is just one part of it, and we figure that shit out.
I think there are two parts to this question when we talk about the future of creativity. One is the
the craft side of it.
Yeah.
The other is the business side of it. And Burnett, a bunch of other agencies have been embracing digital for quite some time now. My concern is that what Bobby also mentioned, and we were chatting about this yesterday. I don't think the kind of craft which existed in the industry maybe 5-10 years back necessarily exists at all levels today, right? Because
I think there's a regression.
yeah, because I don't think that, I mean, like I grew up in advertising, learning from people like Zarwan and Godbole. As an account executive, they would sit me down and show me posters and say, what do you think? Tell us. I don't think that amount of investment is happening in today's industry. And I'm not only talking about creative people. For great work to come out, the servicing team also has to understand craft, right? So that's the system I grew up in, where we didn't have boundaries of, those guys would come and sit with me and teach me stuff. The second, so I feel that the craft is there, but it's not there across all agency levels and departments. When it comes to digital, AI, social media, whatever, my concern is going forward, combined with this sort of maybe scarcity of craft, if AI and digital and whatever else end up becoming crutches, the work will suffer even more, right? And there's so much content, as advertising people, the work we are doing, we are not competing with other agencies or with other brands or other work. We're competing with everybody who's got a camera, right? And it's becoming increasingly difficult to stand out in that clutter, because as agency people, we are still thinking advertising brands, but what people consuming are out there is not necessarily advertising, right? I think that's a challenge going forward. I'm not worried about it, but I'm definitely concerned that we need to see the craft coming back into the business. And whether it's AI or digital or whatever else, has to be an enabler. It can't be a crutch that you lean on.
I think as far as challenges to advertising are concerned, I think, of course, there is the whole conversation about ChatGPT and generative AI and all of that. But I think there is something much bigger than that. It's much more grassroots. It's much more tangible, which is the lack of talent, right? Is advertising still you introduced all of us as madmen. Do people outside still see us as the charismatic,
Absolutely
industry
not.
which exactly right? Does this industry get the due respect that it deserves for creating the multi-billion-dollar brands that we do day in and day out and all that, right? Do people still see as something which is a great career choice for them? One is that, also coupled with what has happened in the whole area of choices available to people, right? In terms of content, in terms of OTT, in terms of all the clients needing, creative people and planning people on their side. ChatGPT, while I kind of somewhat agree, but largely, I think I'm on some other polarity of that argument, which is ChatGPT maybe 10 copywriters, 10 more copywriters to the team, but I think those 10 copywriters would be the mediocre copywriters who do your day in and day out sort of stuff, right? The future of creativity is creativity, right? More creativity, right? It's not AI, it's not. Creativity is really about decision making, right? You'll have choices, right? Creativity is really about what do you choose. This is a great idea, right? We'll need people, like Prashanth said, great craftsmen. We'll need people with a lot of gumption, insight about our audiences, right? So that's going to be a challenge, because not enough number of people are considering advertising as.
Khazanchi, having said that, I have heard this talent issue since I became a journalist.
Right.
And it's been a while since I've been in this profession, right?
Never more than right now, because it's basically a question of choice, right? For the person who's graduating, he's great with his craft or whatever, but he'll go to Sony Live. No, he'll go and create a Gullak.
The rigor of, let's say, creating fiction is there. It's as rigorous. But what you create lasts longer than any ad you create will. Okay? These days, gone are the days when people did Cadbury's and all of that, and that lasted for a long time. Like, ads did back in the 90s, ran for years. These days, it's 3 months freaking tops. So, you want to be known for big work, you'll go do fiction, no? Or you'll go do content. But I'll tell you one thing, right? Because I believe this wrong. Generative AI is going to take a lot of jobs, right? Because a lot of things. Tell me one thing: do you need a human being to do a Diwali ad? What is it? The headline is Havas cracker of a Diwali with a sparkling offer or some combination. People in traditional clothes, diya in the background and fireworks exploding in the night sky. There's some combination of that. There'll be a starburst with the offer. Yeah, बंदर भी कर सकता है if sufficiently trained. So those jobs are going to go, right? Also, I'll tell you one thing. AI will become a tool that liberates creativity. Yeah, at the end of the day, it is going to be the master and the tool. It's also going to be a tool.
Well, how do you ensure that is done?
The problem was always there, right? It's never stopped. I think it's our job to solve it. Human resource is always going to be a problem, and that talent is always going to be the problem. And it's not that problem. It's just the training. It takes time for training, right? He was trained by someone, and that's why he can talk about it, right? So it's our job to train, and that's what. If you see, of course, there is a what do you call it? There are people, there are other industry who are more interesting than they think. That's a go there, because maybe somewhere we missed that gap happened for us where we didn't create those magical work that was not just storytelling, work that was actually changing the industry.
Is it happening now?
We're starting to do it, right? We're starting to do. I think last 2-3 years, India. Why do you think India is having amazingly well in Cannes or DNAD in one show and Spikes? Why we are looking amazingly well? Because India has started having a new language, a new era of creativity coming out, and you'll see that.
Which of the work that has won here you feel has been popular work?
I think we are doing a lot of work, very innovative work, very cutting edge work. And Raj is right. I think the biggest brand in the world today is India, right?
So, would you say the challenge is the distribution platform?
No, I think the challenge is
We're
creating...
not in the movie industry.
Yeah.
Sonal, you're not in the movie industry to understand. You're a creative industry, and the best thing is if your hands are dirty and you're doing it, you know how hard it is to make it happen. I think everyone here been part of the process to make it happen. If you write a copy, if you think of an idea, you sell an idea, you get a budget to make it happen. It takes its whole journey to happen it out. And when you're talking about the popular work, the beautiful thing about popular work is people are not stupid when they're judging. Understand that, right? There is, if you're telling that people are stupid, then I should be questioning that, right? Because all of us are sitting here as jury presidents. Understand, we can scan it very fast, which is what do you call that? Which is real, which is not. The work that's happening is a starting sign of what's going to change. Like I always say, when you go to award show, don't see what's happening. When you go to award show, see the shooting stars. That is the future. That's going to show us the future. You can miss it like this. You may look at the starry glass things that are happening around it, but you don't miss the shooting star. And that's the thing about awards show. See the future. And a lot of people don't see the future because future is not easy to be seen. You have to have craft. You have to work that much to understand what the future is. What do you think, Bobby?
I'll tell you, okay, couple of things. I agree with you. The future is going to be different. But I'll tell you one thing that's not going to change, right? Stories will travel further and wider than anything else, right? There's nothing as powerful as a story, right? The thing is, there's a story in everything. How good are you at telling it is the question.
Like, have you seen the movie Air?
Yeah, of course.
It's simple. What do they talk about it, right? A shoe is a shoe, a jeans is a jeans. Till Jordan walks into it.
Yeah, till he steps into it.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me tell you very simplified it. A jeans is a jeans, a shoe is a shoe, a phone is a phone, till an agency gets you to take a story to it and you buy it.
Oh, wow. Good one.
I think it's true. I think you go to a brand because we make brands. We tell stories.
I think the challenge is not about any of these tools, technologies. I think all of us, we love this business because as Bobby said, we want to tell stories, but we want to tell stories which are memorable. And I think the memorability of our storytelling is going to be a challenge simply because we're competing with so much other content out there. So, I mean, even today there are these legendary brands with legendary ad campaigns behind them. Everybody remembers. Even the younger generation who probably were like babies back then, even they know those. I'm saying, for me personally, the real challenge is, can we create memorable storytelling for brands which people 10 years down the line will still remember? Like what Bobby was saying, right? forget other people outside the industry forgetting ads in 3 months. In the industry, we forget ads in 3 months.
So let me ask you, Ashish, whether this ambition and aspiration to create memorable work, right, by the industry, is there enough support given the current market and the kind of challenges one faces in the market, companies face? Is there enough support and respect given to a creative folk like yourselves to push the envelope and create that work? Is it the same as it was, let's say, a decade ago or 2 decades ago? That commitment with y'all?
Even now, I think there is a huge amount of willingness from client side, a huge amount of purchase from the client side for advertising, which really breaks, norms, which breaks a lot of convention and stuff. Because there's a very simple reason for it, because you're not going on broadcast television all the time, right? You're going on television where there is a reward to be reaped because of engagement. There is a reward to be reaped if the audience is not skipping the ad in the first 5 seconds itself, right? I mean, it's a great time for creativity, right? Exactly. Is it fragmented right now? Will you do smaller set of ads and not like, some magnum opuses like you did in the past? Sure, but maybe you can still tell those smaller stories to smaller cohorts in a beautiful way, right? So,
adding to what you said, right? I think it's fantastic what you just said. It says we can't look at the past and say that was the most glorious past. We have to build the future. If you want to build the future, we have to predict the future, we have to build it ourselves. And it takes its own time and we have to do it. We can't expect someone else to do it for us. And says when the people in the past who did that, ask them how tough it was for them. Maybe it's really hard for them, right? And they had the same problem. But the thing is, that time no one asked. Sonali were not there that time to ask them. Was it tough, right? 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 That's the thing. If you ask them, we may look at it and criticize ourselves like that, there is no great piece of work. No, bullshit. They are great piece of work because we have to create it out. We are the creators.
But my question, Raj, and maybe you can answer it along with you, Bobby, was that are you getting the same partnership and respect are you getting client support to say, go do this?
Loving it. I'm telling you, do you think if I don't have a partnership, I could have melted a warship called INS Vikrant and make bikes out of it? No. Do you think if I done partnership, my client would have get the jersey to have a sound waves on the Indian cricket team? No. Do you think if I did a partnership, I would have made Airtel make 175, got the history back? Possible? No. If I did a partnership with PNG, do you think Whisper would have changed the chapter in the book which is not part of that? No. Partnerships are there. Clients are willing to do it. But you have to show them what you can able to do it. It's our job. There's no one. We don't.
They are open.
They are open. Amazing. I did 4 brands. I'm talking with the great brands I'm working with now. At least 10 I can name them. That they are ready to do it. And the partnership, it shows both ways. You can tell the client bullshit, it's not good, or you can say we are there to change you, and client will stand. No one wants bad work. Get up in the morning, says I want to do bad work. Either client, either agency, and you will find those things to happen.
But what about the clients who say, "Mere ko viral video bana ke de"? Why aren't you talking about them?
Well, there are all kinds of clients, right? There are all kinds, right? So you've got to pick see, there are all kinds of creative people, there are all kinds of agencies, there are all kinds of clients. The great ones will lead the way to the future. Okay, a lot of them. See, even the great clients, you've got to be able to make a case for the idea that you're sharing with them. It's got to have a positive impact on the brand and the people involved in it. Otherwise, why the hell do they do that? They're not in the business of creativity. They're in the business of getting people to fall in love with their brand, right? So you've got to build a case for it. The onus is upon us, right? And like Raj rightly said, if there's a coin. There's this thing. There's challenging times on one side of it. The flip side of it is opportunity.
Yeah. So I think I agree with what Bobby's saying, what Raj was saying. I think the important thing here is to answer the question, do you have partnerships with clients? I think it's our job and our responsibility to pick the right clients. You pick the wrong clients because they're paying you money or whatever, the work is going to suffer.
Bobby, I find it very heartening these days. We've taken a more or less a hardline kind of a stance that we will not pitch, right? 8 times out of 10, we refuse to pitch, or even for a pitch fee or whatever, we refuse to entertain the whole conversation about speculative presentation. It is really heartening, and I've never seen it, let's say, pre-COVID days. that the same clients are saying, yeah, I know most agencies are refusing to pitch these days. I've never seen the agency come together like that. So
Are you
obviously-
saying that
Oh,
people
yeah,
are
yeah,
starting
yeah.
to say no?
I thought, initially we thought we were the only ones. Now I hear it from many number of clients
So
that
I will
agencies are
add into
refusing
that,
to.
right? There was a time when people used to ask, how you like about the work and everything, and we used to love to talk that this work is shit. You'll never see us talk anymore now. I know how hard for him to sell something and make it happen. I know how hard for Bobby to do it. I know how hard for my friend Sukesh to sell something, to Cadbury's to have the face here. It's a process. It takes the journey. And everyone is trying it. And we have to respect each other's thing, saying that we can say it's bullshit. No, it's not. It's very hard for people to make that happen, and you have to respect it. Someone else is trying. Every time someone sells something good, I remember when he makes something good in our agency, that is amazing happening. Or Bobby gets someone good people on this, they're getting the right people hiring. Or someone, Sukesh is doing somewhere, I like, you know what, these guys are doing something right. And that's what happened with every agency that we work for it. I think that's happened with other agencies when people call and says, I love your work. This is what happening. We're just having a chat. How did you, Raj, sell those work to the client? And that's what the conversation we should be having. How we make the clients happen. Because we are the industry. No one else is going to change the industry for us. If we are the industry, we will work together to make it happen.
Well, it definitely sounds like a more united front than I'd say your last generation.
I was not born that time, sorry.
It's got to be, and especially creative people and creative-minded people, because you know what, we've got to realize the onus is on us to move the agenda forward, is move the work forward, right? And the thing is, nothing inspires you like somebody else, your buddies, or even people you don't like personally, but respect professionally, do great work. Because you know what? When there's more great work in the atmosphere, more clients want that kind of thing. Yeah.
My last question, and this needs to be pointed, right? Two questions, each one. I'll start with you, right? One thing you want to tell clients across the board, and one message to your peers, the industry, the fraternity.
I mean, to the clients, very, very simple, which is, if I'd be very, very worried if I wasn't paying my agency enough, right? If your business is important to you, your agency has got to be important to you as well, right? So that's number one to the clients. And for our fraternity, what would I say, right? I think, we are moving to a place where we are a little bit more united, right? I think we got together. There are lots of things that the industry has to solve, but it needs to start, right?
Yes, I think the line told by one great marketer and says, the client deserves the agency they have. Because the work is what a client is. I think the partnership can make it better, but it's all about who buys it and what you buy it. That's the message to the clients that you have. And for the fraternity, I think keep inspiring.
I mean, we say this to clients all the time. We tell all our clients, please don't give us a brief. आपको लिखना नहीं आएगा, हमको समझ में नहीं आएगा. Please tell us your business and tell us your problem, right? We'll write our own brief, right? Because the minute a client says this is the brief, he's already written. I want a TVC, I want 2 print ads, I want some radio, I want this, I want that. Maybe that's not the solution, right? So you're already telling me what you want, but you're asking me to guess what you would like, right? And that's not what we want to do. To the fraternity, I wouldn't say anything to people like Raj and Bobby, and they already know what they're doing.
It's generic
But I'm
stuff.
saying I would specifically tell people who are coming into the business, the younger generation, 22, 23, 24. It's all nice to know what is happening on Instagram Reels and viral video and TikTok and all of that stuff. But please learn the history of this industry that you've come into. Know what is great work that's happened, right? Maybe we don't do print anymore, but that's craft, that's pure craft. Go back and, read about our industry, try and figure out, see what kind of works happened before you came in.
Bobby?
I mean, I'm going to get like super specific, which is kind of strange for me, but hey. This is about meetings, right? I think when agencies go to present, I think clients need to see it not as a presentation, but as a conversation, right? Then your first instinct shouldn't be to criticize or say, okay, but to collaborate, right? Because it takes a village to make an idea great, okay? And every idea, no matter how seemingly bad it is, has merit, there are times, and I've been the beneficiary of that. It looked like a fairly crappy idea. Somebody looked at it in a different way, and it's gone on to win big time in the marketplace and in the award shows, right? So that is this thing. What's your mindset as a client, right? To build or to tear down? The builders always win, right? To the industry, and especially a fellow creative, right? I just have one thing to say, right? The love you give is the love you get back.
Well, on that note, thank you so much. I think this has been quite candid and quite positive and optimistic. And to everyone hearing this, much more power to the creative fraternity. May you reclaim your power, your stature, not only at Goafest, but even, in the industry.
Thank you, Sonali. Lovely talking to you.
Applaud.